What is shaking, YouTube? Good to see you. Good to have you back. We got a pretty decent day shaping up here. Let's go over the insanity that is. We've just hit into this high volume node and a local golden pocket here. Seems that we're getting a little bit of traction off of this. The big thing, I guess, going on this week is going to be tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, Friday. Friday is going to be the big crypto summit at the White House. So let's see what's going on here. Looks like it's, well, as far as the charts are concerned, looks like we've got some pretty decent news for Bitcoin. Hey there, Builder Bob. Good to see you, brother. So what we had yesterday seemed to be a little bit of Bitcoin going its own way, making its own moves, getting away from the downfall, the dump of NVIDIA that happened. We seem to get back into the groove of things on NVIDIA, taking back the gap, and then, you know, it went downhill from there. But Bitcoin managed to keep going. So that is great for Bitcoin, I would say. Also managed to get over that Friday's close level, which was hugely important. So let's just take a quick peek here at what we're up to now, which is also great news. So we're now above the previous day's high, which, good news, very good news. All right, let's just zoom this out a little bit here. Let me get rid of this Fibonacci pull. So good news. The bad thing is this high volume peak up into here, but there was not much happening in terms of new orders there. So it looks like this was just a bunch of profit taking up here. and closing of some shorts, maybe some liquidations, who knows. Have not looked at that, but we'll hear about it very shortly, I'm sure. So it doesn't look like it's a very strong reaction off of here. So let's see how that is going to play out. And then, of course, we are targeting here Monday's high. All right, that's going to be the most important thing for us to get over here and see if we could take that out, pretty much mitigating, you know, when I say pretty much, probabilistically mitigating that we go down towards the lows of Tuesday for the rest of this week. So that is going to be something to really look at. Now, interestingly, we have hit here off of a 786, right? And now we're coming up into this golden pocket here, this local golden pocket from this high, which sets us up for a interesting potential little butterfly here, which could come all the way up into the 886 here, or it could turn around here. So this would be a pretty realistic looking butterfly, but again, butterflies are pretty weird on the B2C leg. They can be anywhere between the 382 and the 886. So we have that working for us and potentially against us. All right, so it could definitely turn around here. Then our D target's going to be a lot different looking than this, but it's very early, right? We haven't even hit a C. Bigger context here is going to be this bad boy butterfly. So here is a bearish butterfly, potentially. All right, again, we hit off the 786. We come back down, hit around the 0.8, pushing towards the 886. Not perfect looking, but this is a definite reality here for a bearish butterfly, potentially. All right, so somewhere up to around the 102 level, which would be crazy. Now, it's going to take a few weeks to get up there, and then we would be crashing back down. And that would play in nicely to the narrative of us doing a fair bit of consolidation out of this later range here that we broke out, maybe come up, retest these highs around 102K, and then crash back down. Yaroslav Kravchenko, hell, live streams time changed, or is it time? Yeah, no, they've changed. We're doing it at 11 o'clock now. So yeah, they have definitely changed, my friend. Sorry about that. I didn't make that announcement on YouTube, but in the Discord, it was announced. So yeah, that is so I can spend more time in the Discord during New York Live, and we can actually look to trade it as opposed to just talking about it on YouTube and missing all kinds of opportunities. You know what I mean? So that is a pretty high time frame potential here. Let's see what happens now. It is very dependent on what happens at this level here. So if we do turn around here and start the dump, we could be looking at the formation of a bullish butterfly, taking us all the way down to about 75K. Yeah, which would be great. That would be great. Either one would be great. Not going to lie. Great to trade. But again, this one is very, very young in the making here. So we would have to see where this hits. Now, if it were to turn around here at the 618-ish level, then this would not be looking that deep. Well, actually, it would be. Let's take a peek here. That'd be even deeper. Somewhere around 74K-ish. Something like that. Nice little bullish butterfly, and then come back up to continue again on this narrative of consolidation. All right, and that's if that works out at all. Right now, it's all good news, though, I would say. Not to say that we're just going to keep pumping from here. We could definitely get a pullback off of this golden pocket slash high volume node. We also have our naked point of control up here. Okay, so around 92K, and that is our Monday's naked point of control. So that could also be a big reality for us to be hitting into. And if we pull a fib on that, we've got our 886 up here, all right? which would still keep us in the realm of that butterfly, right? The small localized sort of butterfly. All right, so those are the big levels I see right above us here is obviously where we are right now. We've also got a pretty nice little zone up here at 91-ish to 92-ish. We've got this cute little failed W formation here with some consolidation in there. There is a high volume node here as well. And obviously 786. Pull that back up. That was a premature erasure, pardon me. There you go, 786 right at the top. So some pretty interesting zones here, but it will be all dependent on what happens off of this level here. NVIDIA looks to be trading pretty high on the pre-market right now. So about $3 above where it closed, more or less. Let's see if it can get back above this zone here. Well, it is back above it right now, but let's see if we can really stay above this zone and start to put in some moves to the upside. That would make it much better looking for the rest of the world and the rest of the stock world. NASDAQ futures not looking great this morning. All right. So not really instilling too much confidence here, but hopefully that's just a pre-New York dump before the New York pump comes. But yeah, keep an eye on that. We've got our relatively tight range, right? It's not looking great, but it's not doing much. And we are again bouncing off Friday's close. So yeah, in between Friday's close and yesterday's close, always a bit of a tough jam to be in. You know, we really want to trade off of both of these levels, but we want to hopefully get away from one and then trade it to the opposite way. So that will be interesting to see how this manages to break. Let's see if we can take the previous day's high and start to move upwards. That would be fantastic. All right. So again, going to be keeping a close eye on NVIDIA today. I know that's kind of not what you want to hear, but if NVIDIA does in fact start to move up, I think it'll be good for everything. Well, it will be good for everything, including Bitcoin, I would imagine. The Dixie is looking down, so that's also great for us. Hopefully that will keep going, right, and pump it to the upside. Now, the big problem that we're facing here in terms of media, I wouldn't say this is a problem yet for anything, but it's this whole tariff war thing, right? So big news for crypto, Friday summit. Big news for the markets is the tariff war, and I'm using air quotations right now. You know, it is what it is. Policy's always changing, regulations are always changing, everything's always changing, and then it's always staying the same, you know? So I wouldn't really get too worried about these sort of news events. Yes, it could have some impact in the future, but generally when you're looking at these massive economic changes, whether it be regulation, whether it be fund rates, whether it be anything, you're going to have an initial shock, right? The markets will react to this stuff because it's an opportunity for them to weasel people out of their positions for the most part, and then make them either get involved again or make them change their minds about what their life decisions are. But what we want to just do, we really want to just keep calm, carry on. Everything's fine. Trade this level to level. All right. It's no big deal whether it goes up or down. We'll all be fine, right? It's just really what it is here. If we look at Bitcoin, for example, you know, we could be going down quite a ways here, right? It's a definite possibility, but who really cares? Who really cares? Yesterday we broke above this support zone here, and now we've held it, and now we're coming up to test this golden pocket. Hopefully we can get past this and test this level, and this might be a great place to be looking for a short, right? old support zone. We now have a high volume node at the bottom of it, and we've got a high volume node at point of control above it. So these are the things we're going to be interested in. If you see good reaction, maybe if we see some traps getting short, some shorts getting trapped, which we're not seeing right now. This was very low volume coming into it. I know it looks like a big volume spike here, but if you look at order flow charts, not much happening there. Pretty small volume and really no trap shorts here. So it still might react, but not a big deal is what I would say. Really not a big deal. So just remember, keep calm, man. Don't buy into the news too much. It's good to keep a breath of what is happening in the world, but at the same time realize the markets don't really care that much. At the end of the day, they're going to use it as opportunities to get in and get out. Also, what Trump was saying yesterday in his speech, a lot of it was actually pretty positive, I would say. Honda opening a massive plant in where was it? I believe it's in Tennessee or somewhere around there. So you're starting to see these positive things happen for the U.S. markets. And the negative thing I would say is more around the opposition. I'm a Canadian, all right? And then hearing what Justin Trudeau was saying yesterday, I mean, it's just unbelievable with these guys trying to act tough with America. That'll work well. Good job, Justin. Good job. So it'll have consequences for sure. There's going to be things we feel, but it's not going to happen overnight, and the market's not going to care about it overnight. But in like 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, if certain companies start struggling, we're going to see that in the markets. We'll see it reflected. So watch out for earnings reports. Watch out for real data that comes out. That's what this is all based on, right? It's data driven, the market. They don't really care about headlines, but they do love using them for opportunities, right? Perfect example is Sunday's pump. Thanks, Eric and Donald. And then Monday comes, takes it all back, and here we go. It's if you look at this, not much happened. We pumped, we dumped, and now we're moving back to take back the pump, right? Or the dump in this case, sorry. So that's really the way this stuff sort of moves, right? All the doom and gloom that we hear in the headlines is not really conducive to keeping you actively calm, right? That's what we need to be in this business, is actively calm. Just like when you're in a trade, if you're in a long and you see that we're approaching this zone here, you have to be actively calm. Are you looking for profits here? Are you looking to reverse your position, maybe close your position fully? That's what you have to think about. Always be looking for what the market is doing. So as we're approaching this, and this is a good place to be looking for a short, for sure, you should be thinking about taking profit, right? So let's just take a peek at this reaction here and see what is going on. So no big signs of weakness here. All right, we've got a pretty gentle reaction here. Again, this looks very massive, this volume, but when you look on the order flow, there was not much caught up here. So it doesn't look overly threatening, I would say. And that's kind of how you want to play this stuff out, right? It's just like news events. They will shake people out of positions. They will definitely make the market move aggressively. And then you can choose whether you either want to chase that or whether you want to wait for it to settle down and go on about your business. Both can be quite lucrative. So it's really up to you how you want to address that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're now just doing a little bit of consolidation here. We've got a nice little zone here. This looks like it should be taken back, this move. That was pretty aggressive. So when New York opens up, wherever this opens up, if it sticks around this zone, which I highly doubt it will, but maybe a little pullback into the previous day's high, make sure that's going to hold. Maybe previous day's close, maybe the daily open. Could be. Now, one thing that is happening here is London has taken it upon itself to start to produce what looks to be a trending day. All right. So here is our Asia high, right? Let me just where did that go? I deleted it. Never mind. Onyx asks, what do you consider sign of weakness? There's several things that you can look at for signs of weakness. So one of them, and primarily for new traders, I would say get yourself very familiar with price action. Okay, so I would take this down to lower time frames, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, and just watch for the reaction. All right, we break above this high volume node and we get a sign here that sellers are stepping in, right? See that big volume push down. And then price starts to gingerly work its way down here, right? So this is definitely a sign of weakness here at the top, all right, in terms of the up move. And it's a bit of a sign of strength to the downside here. But you can see real quick that the on the volume bar here, that the bulls respond. And this is what you would call a bit of a stopping volume candle. So it doesn't really move anywhere. And it looks like the bulls are going to try to protect this zone here. So the fight is on. And until I see one really start to gain control here, I will not be overly interested. Let's take a peek at the 5. All right, we've got a nice doji candle here and then a break of that candle to the downside. And then price continues to move. So this is a sign also that price could be gearing up to move away from here. All right, but what have we done? We've come down, filled in this fair value gap, and now price is turning around. All right, or not turning around, consolidating here. So this could be just a little zone that we start working here. And I would really need to see it start to break down to feel that that is a sign of weakness in this up move. The other thing is the way price is delivered in terms of order flow. So for that, we don't really have that on trading view, but we can look at the volume footprint here. All right, now the volume footprint here can be a little bit misleading. So what you need to do is also open up a open interest indicator. And unfortunately, it's not going to give it to us on Bitcoin. So not cool trading view, not cool. All right, let's try a different one here. But for the most part, it's real difficult to get open interest that is reasonable. All right, so here you go, one by Leviathan. Okay, so you can see as price is approaching this, open interest is really increasing. And then once we hit into the top here, you can see a decrease of open interest. Okay, so what you would want to see on a move up like this, as price is moving into a zone of resistance, that open interest starts to wane a little bit. And then in these top candles, you want to see some sort of peak of open interest and people get trapped, and then open interest increasing to the downside. Okay, so you can see that open interest decreases as this move is coming down. So there's not too many people interested in shorting this. So it really does look like the bears are a little bit exhausted here. All right, so open interest, very important when you're looking at order flow. Okay, and then if we come here, you see on this monster candle here, monster volume, All right, not an overly big amount of trapped traders here. All right, you've got 11 million potentially trapped longs. That's not huge. It's enough for us to have a little move to the downside. But yeah, not overly great. Now, the one problem that happened here when you're looking at these order flow candles, or these footprint candles, sorry, is you really want to pay attention where in the candle the action really happens, right? So generally when you want to see price moving up, so you see this candle here, all of the volume or the value area, all right, this is your value area high, value area low of this specific candle, all the big bull volume, which pushed into it, was created at the bottom of the candle, which is very healthy. That's what you want to see. And on this one, it's kind of in the middle. All right, all of the big trades was right there, which is psychotic. All right, it's unbelievable that people will open positions into a golden pocket in a high volume node, but they get excited. They see these sorts of movements and they hop in. So not what you want to be doing. Very irresponsible trading right here. This is not the greatest, but at least this candle looks all right. So this zone here, it looks like we should try to protect this. And then if we move it just down to the previous candle, here again, you see the majority of the longs here. And these are pretty even candles, all right? 4.4 million delta and 1.62 million delta. Very nice. And then you see this, which is just a bunch of yahoos, all right? So 11 million positive delta on a $23 million volume candle. And you've got a pretty decent potential here for some big trapped longs, sorry. So you can get in here, just count them out, all right? And that's what I would be looking for. But now as price is decreasing back down, open interest is not there. So it doesn't look like the bears are overly eager to push this down. So that could mean a couple of things. Well, shouldn't say that, but we could see a couple of things here. This is interesting. Now, 5-minute chart, we've got a little bit of a half a Batman brewing up. So if this starts to dump, this could come back down and clean all of this up, maybe test this previous day's high. So you see a little half a Batman potentially. So if we break this range to the downside, that is going to be a sign of weakness for me. For anybody who doesn't know what a half a Batman is, it's a very common reversal where you get this half a Batman. All right, so you would typically see an M formation playing out here, but instead of that M formation, we just get a one ear on the Batman and then down she goes. Oh. So yeah, that's what I would be looking for now, is a break of this to the downside, increase in volume and open interest and new shorts opening up, but it doesn't look like we're getting that right now. So we could potentially get an M formation here. So let's take a peek at where we are here in relation to our EMAs, and you see we're pretty much holding the 50. Let's see if this comes down a little bit. Maybe we get some consolidation below the 50 and then set up for a big M formation here. But if this does start to drop below here, this could definitely be a Batman, half a Batman, where we come down and clean all of this sort of stuff up. All right, so having said all of this, I think right now it looks very good, not necessary for the short term. We're going to have to see how this plays out here. But good news overall, all right? Again, we are trading well above Friday's close. So that was real nice yesterday at around 5:30 GMT time. We finally get above, retest it, and then it starts to go. So hallelujah, Bitcoin. Back above Friday's close, and it's the same thing for today. We're trading above yesterday's close, and we're even trading above yesterday's high. So good news there. Remember to keep an eye on NVIDIA. keep an eye on the Dixie. Make sure that the Dixie does not start pumping for some insane reason today. But it's looks like it's bouncing back a little bit here, but that is down quite a bit. So that is good to see. Very good to see. All right. And also look pretty good. So everything seems to be sort of getting in the rebound. ALCH doing great, 12% up. I've been hitting a few trades on that coin. It is a little it's a little sketchy. It's very quick moving, but you can definitely get in there. But ADA has been my rock since this dump. It's fantastic trading on ADA. So yeah, Supercoin up 17%. Oh, but everything looking really green. Looks good. You know, very positive for the start. Now the question is, how is New York gonna act here? Sorry, the thing I also was saying is that London has taken it upon itself. So we've got our Asia low, our Asia high here. And if you go on the 30-minute chart, or you can open up a TPO chart if you wish. On the 30-minute chart, it makes it a little bit clearer. Okay, what we see here is that London has taken it upon itself to create the illusion of a trending day. All right, so we've got a row of single prints. Okay, we get a little bit of consolidation, another row of single prints, and then we've had this pullback, and now we're consolidating here. So oftentimes what will happen here is you'll get some consolidation in this zone, and then price will rip to the upside again. So that's the other thing that doesn't look very weak right now. This looks like a very strong trending day with all of these single prints below us, two big rows. And it might leave another potential move to the upside. London's got quite a bit of time here to pull it off itself. If it does that, then I would imagine New York will take quite a bit of it back. And if it leaves it where we are right now, then New York might want to pump this up. That's not going to look great in terms of consolidation. Generally, what you want to see is a quick half-hour to an hour consolidation on the first, a little bit of a longer consolidation, an hour to an hour and a half on the second, and then rip up. So this would potentially happen before New York comes in, but you know, that's in a perfect world, and trading is never perfect. So yeah, no real signs of weakness here today. That's what I would say about this. However, our point of control is way down here. Our daily open is pretty much right at the point of control. Initial balance also down there. So we could set up for a potential double distribution day here, or we might come back down. We've also printed a big selling tail here. Okay, so if we put this on normal candles again, it is a massive selling tail. All right. Now, the problem with the massive selling tail here is we've got a massive row of single prints here as well. So what's going to crack first? And like you've often heard me said, I don't really look to trade selling tails or tails in general when they're printed the day of. I would much rather see us move away from it and then the next day or days later come back into it and look for a reaction. But you never know what happens here. It does look like it could be breaking down. No, still just chilling out in this range. But let's see what happens here. We're getting a little bit of consolidation here. Maybe looking to push price back up, but off a golden pocket, this is not a very strong reaction, right? Oh, here it comes. Kind of stalling out on us here. London getting ready to go out for lunch. Yeah, that's what I would really look for. Look for it to break this. If it does, I wouldn't really be looking to short this right now. I would be more looking for price to come back down and retest these levels here, previous day's high. This little consolidation zone looks great too. I know this is just a 1 minute chart, but these zones are oftentimes quite powerful on the 1 minute chart. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, so it looks pretty good right now. I mean, we are way above the Asia high. So yeah, I think we're going to be waiting for New York to come up and consider all this. Biscuit and tea, yeah. Cup of tea, love. Can I get you a cuppa? So yeah, that's what I would be saying about this. Doesn't look overly impressive right now, this zone. Yeah, just chill out and relax. Personally, I'm going to be looking at ADA again. ADA today hitting off the big three, giving some monsters already. Unbelievable, really unbelievable. It's also getting above this resistance zone that we had quite a bit of action into yesterday. So yeah, gonna keep focusing on ADA, I believe, today, and let's see if we can crack that dollar and stay above it. That's what I'll be focusing mainly on. I do believe Bitcoin is going to range around here for a bit. That's why I'm looking at those harmonics, right? So all the way up to like 94-ish, maybe even 100. Try to peak back up there, but some consolidation between where we are now and 95 would be very, very healthy for us, right? Won't really scare too many people, get people bored again after all these moves, right? So yeah, if you have time, look at XRP. Amen. All right, we're getting religious on the XRP here. Okay, let's take a look at XRP. I think these coins, as long as we've got this whole Trump business here about the summit, I think they should be all right. Now you're going to be running into some serious resistance. Obviously, here we've got these naked points of, one naked point of control. We've got this point of control from Sunday, which doesn't look, Sunday points of control, for me, they're not overly important. But then you have this nice high volume node here on Monday before the take back of the Sunday pump. So that's going to be a very interesting zone for me. And this as well. This is a big node here. You could get front run. You see this this very cute little outcrop here before the actual point of control high volume node. Let's take a peek here. The lower time frames. Maybe not that low. I mean, it's looking pretty decent, right? You've got low, high, higher, low, higher, high. So that's always a good sign. Always a good sign. This fib range is kind of strange. You do get some really good respect on the 236. Golden pocket does. Then we come back, sweep these lows. So pretty much the exact same thing that happened on Bitcoin, just take it all back, sweep it, and then slowly start to grind up, right? It's pretty amazing, these news events, how often this happens. You get the big pump, you get the big dump, and then price will continue and actually take out the high that the news pump or dump created. In the dump, it would be the low, obviously, but So it looks pretty decent. Um, so that did take it. So that's good too. Looks like the previous day's high has been taken. All right, our previous day's low is way down there. So that's good news. Barely got took, but it did get taken. So let's carry on. Keep it pumping, man. That's what I would say. Got here bullish fair value gap. Hits in, holds perfectly. That's a real nice reaction there. Pumping away. Let's take a quick peek at the volume here. Yeah, that's looking all right. Like to see this too. This massive volume candle here on the 15-minute chart. Price just doesn't move. Doesn't really do much. Just chills out. So that's a real good sign when you see all this volume. They're trying to push price down, and it's not really allowed to move here. So this might be a cute little range here that they're setting up for the day. And maybe not. I mean, this will be interesting zone here to come back down into potentially. But it does look good. It does look good. So we have these, just get rid of this real quick. We've got these equal lows here, right? So price pushes up, leaves a fair value gap, pulls back into it. Now this is apparently a mitigated fair value gap, but it's kind of weird. It's a weird way to look at gaps, but that's the way a lot of FVG guys look at it. Put in these equal lows, come in, take the previous day's high. And that was right off of Asia. Come back in, sweep it, and then back up. Let's see here. Saw it on EXO yesterday, open interest in longs. Resting on GP and below an old daily. Yeah, I think it looks pretty decent here. I mean, this is a good looking range, and then you get this little spring here. I don't want to talk about Wyckoff theory, but that's a great candle sweeping these two lows, pretty much closes out that gap, and then starts to move away. So might be looking at a bit of a pullback to get in and take these highs. And on the Vicinator, the money flow was higher whilst RSI and stock pointed down. It's still pumped up. Yeah, that means the whales are taking over here. Yeah, there was a huge inflow of cash into XRP over the last 24 hours. The XRP, and there was another one, but XRP saw a massive inflow. We could take a peek here at the Vicinator. So on the 15, it's starting to look a little bit but that's a cute little sign there. Let's see, it's starting to curve. Let's see if the local bottom's in. Let's take this to the 5-minute and take a peek at this 20 EMA here. So there you go. You've got your local bottoms in. Money flow is starting to curve back up. You do have some divs here, so that's not a great look, but you've already got a nice push to the downside here. I think it'll be interesting to see if we can get a 5-minute candle close back above this 20 EMA here. That might be your signal. Let's take a quick peek at the quads on this, on the 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd be looking for a little rejection here, a pullback, look for some divs to pop up on the quads. You're pretty extended to the downside on both. Sorry, on all four. So that's pretty decent. Yeah, that's pretty decent there. Yeah, 1 minute not looking great, but that's what I'd be looking for. A little pullback and see if you can start catching some divs and maybe a break of that 20 on the 5 minute chart. I'm already long on it, taking 3 TPs. That's the way to do it, my man. That's the way to do it. But it might still go here. Might still go. I think ADA did the same thing yesterday. ADA was, you know, there were some points where it looked like it was sort of all over for ADA. And then it just sort of kept going, right? And then this pullback was perfect. And then after here, it just went. And it gave you a lot, you got a lot of false signals for a big short coming up. But, you know, that's the beauty of the EMAs, baby. Trading above everything. You're trading above the VWAP. You're trading above everything that matters, dynamically speaking. You keep putting in levels that keep getting respected. I'll just talk about this real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. But up here, for example, you really start to, once you start to put in these equalish highs, or you just barely sweep them, and then you start pulling back in and breaking below EMAs, it never looks that good, right? You really have to kind of question what's going on here as soon as you start to see shifts in market structure, right? But if we look at this again, it's all very positive. So people will sometimes get freaked out really quickly, but you've got a nice sort of two-legged pullback here. It looks a little bit sketchier than a two, but you get that pullback right into it. Huge reaction candle. Again, I know it's just a 1 minute candle, but this is where you get the fastest information, right? Other than 10 second, 1 second, but there you go. Price pushes away aggressively, comes back in. You get a nice bullish engulfing there. All right. People will be afraid to long this, but when we were looking at this on, let's say, for example, the quads. Oh. It's beautiful. One. This one is not very clear. All right, but there are divs. It's there. This is a lower low. This is a equal low. And then you've got divs here. You've got your 60 all the way at the bottom. Nice reaction candle. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Sir Lloyd Roger Spencer, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. So yeah, that's you know, you can't always get perfect signals, especially off lagging indicators. They're not the best way to live your life here, but you know, that's why I love the market structure, man. As soon as you start seeing lows and ranges put in, and you can start to really, I wouldn't say manipulate them, but really use those to your advantage, right? Don't be too afraid of indicators telling you that something's not up. You see this move come in here, you've got huge reaction candle. All right, and what do I mean by a huge reaction candle? The wick is more than 50% of the candle. That's massive. Yeah, so buyer stepping in here, you get a big push up, you get a pullback back into this pivot, and then bullish engulfing candle. You're good to go, my friends. Good to go. All right, so that is going to do it. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to get into the Discord. Hit the like button, join the Discord, subscribe if you like what you see. We will keep an eye on this development here. Yeah, BTC putting in a little range here. Keep an eye on what's going on here. I will get on the Discord shortly and do a little bit of live trading in there, and that's about it. There will be no New York Live today because I'm going to do the VIP stream this evening. But yeah, other than that, man, I hope you guys are well. I hope you be safe and stay well. All right. Peace. Thank you so much.